Welcome back. We're in the Gospel of Mark 5 minutes at a time. We're still in chapter 10. We're going to finish it up today, beginning with verse 46. It's a shorter pericope. It's sort of a beautiful, interesting little pericope. It's one you may be familiar with. It's about a place that I've actually been in near Jericho. And if you ever come on a pilgrimage with me to the Holy Land, we'll go there hopefully. Let me read. They came to Jericho. As Jesus and his disciples and a large crowd were leaving Jericho, Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, a blind beggar, was sitting by the road. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many sternly ordered him to be quiet, but he cried out even more loudly, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stood still and said, "To call him here." And they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take heart, get up, he is calling you." So throwing off his cloak, he sprang up, but he came to Jesus. Then Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" And the blind man said to Jesus, "My teacher, let me see again." And Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has made you well." Immediately, blind Bartimaeus regained his sight and followed Jesus on the way. I just so love that story. So Jericho is the oldest city in the world, or arguably one of the oldest cities still continuously in citydom. And it means crossroad. And so it's interesting, Jesus comes to a crossroads, right, to Jericho, and he's in the city, and he's been there. I don't know how long he's been there. It's a city that's actually quite close to Jerusalem. It's down near the Dead Sea, and in the low region on the near the Jordan River, and so if you're coming from Galilee and you're going sort of down along the Jordan River, then you come up to Jerusalem. So Jesus is there, and he's there for a period of time. But it's as he's leaving and going on to Jerusalem, Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, a blind beggar who probably sat outside the city, right, so he could beg during the day of people who came by on the road. And he cries out. He heard, probably great hearing. He hears that Jesus coming down the road, and he's familiar with the sound of excitement in the crowd. He has a sense that Jesus is there, and he cries out, "Jesus, Son of David," right? So he's acknowledging a title of Jesus's. "Have mercy on me." He doesn't say heal me. He says, "Have mercy on me." It's sort of a funny word, mercy. It's sort of an action of acknowledgement, an action of grace, an action of love. He's asking Jesus to meet him where he is and lift him up. That's what mercy does. We meet people where they are, and we lift them up. And many sternly order him to be quiet, right? They say, no. He didn't want to hear about your problems. Don't bother the teacher. But Jesus, he hears him crying out, right? He hears him calling for mercy. And he stops. And he doesn't go to him. He calls over to him and he says, "Hey, come here." He says, and everybody calls him here, "Take heart." And it's so interesting. Here you have this blind person who can't see, and you have the image of him throwing off his cloak like this and jumping up and running down the road, and maybe he knows the road, right? He's probably pretty familiar, and he gets there, and he's going towards Jesus, and he gets to Jesus, and Jesus says, "What do you want me to do for you?" I love that, because that's the question Jesus asks you and I. What can I do for you? And he has an answer, and his answer is, "My teacher," not my healer, "my teacher, let me see again." So And Jesus says, your faith has made you well. Right? So that's a very interesting thing. Faith is a trust, right? It's the deep connection with the living God, right? We are called to have faith in our capacity to do what God has called us to do. And then faith is understanding that God is with us at all times, right? And so it is this understanding that God is with him that allows him to see. Does that mean his eyesight works perfectly? I don't know. That's really not the point. But it gives him the opportunity to see the kingdom of God, to see that God is present with him. And that seeing the kingdom of God and God's presence, irrespective of the capacity of one's eyes, gives one the capacity to be whole, right? That regains his sight, and he's a follower of Jesus. And it all begins with asking God for mercy on our lives. Asking God to meet us where we are, and to lift us up, and to listen for God, and to throw off our cloak. And then the question is, how do you extend mercy? How do you call a person from a place of isolation, or a place of diminishment, or a place of sorrow, and have mercy on them, to call their name and to have them jump up and throw off their cloak and come to you and introduce them to faith, which really means trusting in God? Mercy is the word. When has mercy been shown to you? When have you shown mercy? How does having mercy shown to you strengthen your faith? And then what does it allow you to see? Not with these, but with this. Hope you have a great day. See you tomorrow. Peace upon your soul.